Well, hello everyone. You have right here, I'm talking about with the marching ducklings right here, but then talking about welcome right here. Welcome, follow me right here. And a lot of times, any kids are going to probably thinking too that, whenever you first show up, whenever you first go to school, or on that Monday morning or so in 102, a lot of times that, how often are you really going to hear follow me right here? And so really, that if we're talking about maybe a group of birds or anything like that, or maybe if we are talking about the fact is that whenever it comes to marching, leading ducklings or something like that. But I want to mention right here, I'll talk about one more by the little right here, and so when we're thinking about that, and thinking about one more by the little right here, and you're always want to know too that I kept thinking too is that really can you really put that into a question or a matter? But still, one more by the little. So anybody who's going to be reading a story or writing anything in particular, you're going to maybe wonder to where that what exactly does that mean, or could that be put into a question right there? One more by the little. And could you possibly put like what you call capital, and then maybe maybe a period at the end or something like that, along with the question mark, or maybe anything, a comma right here or something like that. So yeah, one more by the little right here. So I'm just telling everybody here that whenever you think about that right there, and let's just say if I were to underline this, like everybody might say that yeah, one more by the little. And you're thinking that, okay, yeah, that, so if I were to put that number one right here, like everybody might think that, yeah, you put number one right there, and everybody might say that, really, what exactly is that supposed to mean right there? Talk about for one more by the little or something like that. You put one more by the little. So I guess does that pretty much mean is toward if you're trying to get some practice working on something, and let's just say that if you're trying to, yeah, if it's supposed to be maybe like an exercise or something like that, and like everybody might say that if you're going to be working on something, and the first thing that you said was that well, we can just do one, but then you can go ahead and do one more. So it's like, yeah. So if you're trying to train a little chicken or something, I'm like, yeah, if you're trying to train like yeah, if you're trying to train any chickens or maybe ducklings or something like that, and you're thinking is toward okay, yeah, one more by the little right here. So you have right here that yeah, could you also use it as another word or phrase as to where that I was just thinking too that you have right here, Michael, could you possibly put little right here? And I can go and type right here, this right here is the little right here. If that right there is supposed to be a name, well, I really don't know, to be quite honest with you, everybody. That everybody might say that whenever you first try something new, by the way, it seems like that if that right there is that right there supposed to be a name, or if that right there is supposed to be a word of some kind, the little or something like that. Everybody might say that whenever you're first getting used to something, by the way, it seems like that the first thing that you think about is, okay, yeah, little, or like anybody might say to anybody else might describe somebody, like, yeah, if you don't really know, if you don't really know right away or something like that, like everybody might say that, yeah, that the little or something like that, or if anybody might say that, if you don't know, if you don't know the little marching chicken's name or something like that, then you're going to say that hey, that little furry one or something like that, or that little white one right there. So if we were to look at these marching chickens right here, and what's the first thing that you're going to think about? For the most part, are you going to think about the little one right there? Like anybody say, if you're going to be going to a farm and you see these marching chickens right here, all you're going to think about that is, yeah, I'll go ahead and look at that one right there, and that brown one right there. And so that's why it seems like that whenever you think about that, then you're one or two that yeah, the brown, right? Oh, yeah. He might say, yeah, brown, or if it's I don't know, is it really brown or is it light brown or something? But still, I'm just trying to get it all in there like that. But let me see here. But anyway, so really that and whenever you do think about it, I'm like, yeah, brown, but brown, but it's still. So it sure seems that way that each time you think about that in 102 that you begin a sentence by saying that the little, that brown, or that one with the one with tan, that the white tan, the white tan or something like that, like a white tan or something like that, and white to tan or something like that. So really, whenever you think about words, a lot of times that you're thinking is toward it. If you use that like a way of how you want to describe something in particular, but it sure seems that way that when we talk about right here that like everybody might think that yeah, if you want to go ahead and move that over there, but still that talk about for the little right here. But one thing I want to mention right here is talking about follow me right here, and so really, if we're going to be talking about anything that's such as maybe a typical greeting card, and that you're 102, that talking about a greeting card, right, and you're thinking that whenever it comes to you got right here the sisters right here talking about for home right here, but then you have right here the marching leader follow me right here. So you got these ducklings right here, and you're thinking that okay, yeah, the marching ducklings right here, but then you have right here for welcome follow me right here. So anybody that's gonna say this to where that a number of times anywhere you do go that it's possible that you're going to see this welcome right here, and then you're going to see follow me right here. So really, if that right there is that right there supposed to be like what you call is toward it. I want to introduce you to a friend of mine, or I want to introduce you to my cousin, or somebody like that. And so whenever you do think about marching ducklings, a lot of times that you're also thinking too that hey, that if you're going to be thinking about marching ducklings a lot of times, that are you going to be thinking about is that you'll follow me right here, and so really, what exactly does that necessarily mean when we do use that word or phrase talk about for welcome, follow me right here, and it's like marching ducklings right here, but yeah, but you want to. One up more, by the little right here, but still, that you use welcome right here, but does that pretty much mean is to where that go ahead and give this a try or something like that, or does that pretty much mean is something like yeah, like welcome, follow me right here? So if we're talking about maybe a group of ducks right here or something, and 102 that when we're going to be talking about a group of ducks right here, and you're thinking that hey, that whenever you hear somebody say that right there, that do you necessarily think about is that yeah, that's supposed to be what you call yeah, that somebody's trying to guide for anything that you're trying to do or something like that, or trying to introduce you to something or something like that. But normally you would see something like that on a greeting card, right? So like let's just say if it's supposed to be like maybe yeah, I'll go and show everybody here that if it's supposed to be like maybe a poster print or your card right here at about this size right here, and let's just say that if this right here was supposed to be a greeting card or something like that, and you're thinking that you see one page right here, this one page right here that shows the duckling right here with the eggs, and then this page right here shows the duckling, and they weren't really put, I'm like, yeah, were they really put in order? I'm like, yeah, you have right here with the no eggs, and you got right here with the eggs right here, and then you got right here with the 3 weeks until and after right here. But I want to show everybody here of talking about with these marching ducklings right here, just because of the fact that you look real closely at these ducklings right here. That you want to know too that if you're going to be getting into groups or the scouting troops or somewhere like that, like everybody think that yeah, the marching leading band or something like, yeah, follow me. And so really that when we're talking about that the little ducky story or something, and you want to know too that yeah. So if we're talking about follow me right here, and maybe let's just say that somebody that says that that yeah that one of them could be cousins, and so you got the cousin right here, and everybody might say that if we're talking about a group of ducklings right here, and you're thinking as to it, okay, you got the cousins right here. But we're talking about for the little duckies right here, and you're thinking that, how often would you use whenever it comes to follow me right here? And so, like everybody might say that that whenever you do think about that in a lot of ways, and you're thinking as to what, okay, yeah, that whenever we talk about follow me, that does that pretty much mean is toward that the duckies that anybody who's trying to show you something, yeah, they're trying to show you something. And so if one of these was supposed to be a mobile app of some kind, then yeah, show so yeah, that they're trying to trying to show, like, so yeah, follow me and I'd like to show you right here. So yeah, so if we're going to be using this right here as like a source of way to word it like directions, and everybody might think that okay, yeah, for directions for sure, that yeah, follow me. And so like, let's just say if you're trying to get directions on how to get somewhere for sure, that you would use it like a source of guidance, right, to where that somebody says is it to where the please follow me, you're welcome, follow me right here. And so whenever you do think about that in your word to where that yeah, if you had a greeting card, yeah, if you had a greeting card or something like that, anything that you were working on, right, and had a time, you're thinking that okay, yeah, that that a lot of parents might even say too that okay, yeah, trying to get all that come up in there. All right. But anyway, I follow me right here, and so I can show you right here. So you have right here, yeah, I can go ahead and right here. But still, that when we're talking about maybe an invitation or a greeting card or something like that, but at the time it sure seems that way, that you hear about that to where that if you're trying to go somewhere or maybe meet somebody somewhere or something like that, and you would use the source of directions such as yeah, please come this way, follow me, I want to show you for where you need to go or something like that. And so yeah, so whenever you do think about that in a lot of ways, that you're thinking is toward it, do you think that if this right here is supposed to be any source of greeting card in particular, but yeah, like everybody might say that you got the sisters right there, but what about yeah, what about brothers right here? And so yeah, so if we're talking about a group of ducklings right here, and you're thinking that that looking at all these words right here, and you're thinking that that have you really seen any source of greeting card like that, to where that you would see a group of ducklings right here? But like, let's just say that if I were to place yeah, I go and place brothers right down here. See if I can get that right there. So if I were to move these words around right here and thinking that if everybody can really see and tell what I'm doing here, but really that so if we're talking about maybe up to 6 ducklings right here, and talk about for home right here, like everybody say that talk about for home, but still that what I was talking about right here was actually talking about talk about like a spring, like a story, right? And kind of like, but talk about eggs in a nest right here, but still that whenever I was working on this, I was just thinking too that one more by the little. So really, that what sorts of definition do you think that you would give? Like everybody might say that one more by the little. So whenever you do say that, what's a good definition for that? And like everybody says, is that a lot of people might say that it's a bonus actually. It's a bonus, or like in case if we're all want to know too, that does that mean bonus, or does that that pretty much means is to word that one more by the little, or does that pretty much mean like bonus, or like in case if anybody's want to know too that one more by the little, knowing about is that to word that you get one, you'll get one try if you're working on something, but then of course that if you come so close, you came so close. And a lot of times it seems like that's exactly what it means right there, and at the time I'm like thinking too that people may want to know too that somebody's going to ask you to do another, tell another story or something like that. It's all about getting somebody to like what you do or something. But but at the time, it sure seems that way. That when we think about that, in your word, to where that if you do, if you talk about telling a story of some kind, and if all the other ducklings and all them they all want to hear another story or something like that, but it sure seems that way that one more by the little right here, you came so close right here. So whenever you do think about that, it sure seems that way that does that pretty much mean is to where that you're trying to teach the ducklings something, or maybe if anything about that it's another way of how to get them to realize what's really going on or something like that. But still, so whenever you think about that, and you're wanting to know too that follow me, this way right here or something like that, follow me, welcome, follow me right here. So if you see that right there, and you're wanting to where that the first thing that you more likely are going to see is that you'll follow me right here. And so like everybody might say that what you see right here, like everybody would thinking too that that the first thing that you actually see, if you're looking at the directions, which is the first thing that you actually see right here is the ground, is the grass right here. So it's like, let's just say if you're a little ducky right here, and at 102 that if you're going to be a little ducky, and thinking too that the first thing that you see is the ground right here. And so really just to kind of marching leader right here for follow me right here. So whenever you do see that right there, and you're thinking that if you want to use it as like a guide, like if you're trying to find directions on where to go from here or something like that, then like everybody think is that that I can go and use the pencil tool right here just to kind of draw an arrow. But whenever you do think about that, then you want to know too that you want to use that is like another way of how to give directions to where somebody's trying to find something, if somebody's looking for something of some kind. Then you would go ahead and point out the direction. I'm like, if that's supposed to be north, south, east, or west right there. but still, that whenever you do think about that, and you're warned to where that yeah, that the first thing that you actually see is the ground right here before you see this arrow right here. And in case if anybody's want to know too, that yeah, you don't really see that right away whenever you first start working on something, or maybe if you don't have no clue of yeah, where do I go from here? And so really, if you're going to be a little duckling for sure, that just to know, how to do something and maybe where to go from here or something like that. But half the time it sure seems that way. That yeah, that marching leader or something like that. But still, but you have right here for the little right here, and then the white, the 10 or something like that. But still, that so when we're talking about marching ducklings right here, and thinking as to where, yeah, you got home right here, but you got marching ducklings right here, and the first thing that you're thinking is to where, yeah, what does that usually mean whenever somebody says, please follow me right here, and so like everybody might say that, yeah, please follow me right here. Welcome, please follow me, and so if I were to type that right there, like in please, yeah, please follow me right here. Please follow me, and so really that you would normally, I'm like, yeah, like everybody might say, if you're going to be going to a museum or somewhere like that, for sure, you might see that, as somebody's giving you maybe a detour of the place or somewhere like that, and thinking as to where, okay, yeah, that please follow me, and yeah, if you're trying to give somebody a detour of the location, for sure, that you would use it, and so yeah, you have right here the duckling right here. You got please, yeah, please follow me, or please, yeah, please follow me, and then but you see this right here of talking about for follow me right here, but really that but the one thing that I want to talk about right here was talk about for one more by the little right here. So when we do talk about one more by the little, that you come so close, and so really, what does that mean? Well, I guess that pretty much means is that everybody who's watching you work, and anybody who knows the situation just a little bit better compared to from where you started, right? And usually, any parents are going to maybe say that that's usually what that means right there, is that yeah, that whenever you're going to be working on something, and maybe if you're going to be leading a group of like, yeah, like on a field trip or something like that. But still, that whenever you do think about that, and you'll want to know too that talk about for welcome, follow me right here, and so really that any kids are going to maybe think as toward, okay, yeah, welcome. That's not really a rule right there. So in case if anybody's working on any sorts of activity, or putting something together, if you're working on something for sure, that you would use the word such as you are more than welcome to go ahead and give it a try or something like that. But everybody might say that, yeah, most of the time that is if you're watching somebody else work on it, right? If you're watching somebody else put something together or something like that, you're watching somebody else do something, and that's why it seems like that whenever you watch somebody else work on something, that you might think as toward, okay, yeah, well, that according to what the directions say that you're supposed to do it this way or something like that. But you have right here are these marching ducklings right here, and people might say, yeah, they grow up so fast, and so really that I could put that right there too. My parents could probably say, like, yeah. So really, what does that mean? They grew up so fast. They grew up so fast, but they grew up so fast, but I still remember. So really, that any parents might even say that if they're going to be putting together like everybody might say that they grow up so fast, and maybe not all kids are really going to understand really what all that means right there, but still that but really that when we talk about kids and thinking this toward okay, yeah, that oh, I'm just trying to get it all right there, so that way we can all see that, we can all read that right there. Everybody might say that, yeah, just to be able to make something more readable for sure. You're trying to help everybody to where that they can actually read that right there, and want to know too that yeah, not everybody's really going to understand that at first, for sure that if they can't read it right there, but it's like, when we do talk about typical greeting cards, though, that I'm also thinking about talking about typical greeting cards. Yeah, why do you think? Why do you think that maybe not every word has to be underlined or so? But if it's supposed to be an adjective or something like that, but anyway, you have right here, grow up so fast, but I still remember and still enjoy their babies. And so really, that when we talk about memories, and when we talk about talking about for follow me right here, but really that in case if anybody's want to know too, that you would use it as like a definition for talking about I'm just trying to show you something. I would like to show you something here, and I'm trying to show you something here, and so that's why it seems like that whenever you first start looking at something for sure, that the first thing that you're gonna what is going to be the first thing that you're going to see whenever you first start looking at something? Is it going to be an arrow? And like everybody might say that, yeah, I actually think so. The first thing that you're going to maybe see is a picture, but then also the next thing you're going to probably see is an arrow. Like yeah, you have right here, and I can draw an arrow right here, but you see this right here. It looks like an arrow, right? And so you're thinking that okay, yeah, are you trying to give that person reading this directions on where they need to go, as far as if they're trying to fly south or somewhere like that, or if they are trying to go north for any reason or something like that. But whenever you do think about that, then you're warned to where that yeah, usually it's these arrows right here. And in case if anybody's want to know too, that you got these arrows right here, and people want to know too, you got this arrow, this one right here that's pointing downwards, and yeah, use it as like a guide right there. And so not everybody's really going to know what all this is for until until they see the details right here. And so yeah, if that right there, yeah, step-by-step process and all that, and so you're thinking that when we do talk about the step-by-step process and everything, and you might be thinking too that whenever it comes to understanding about the arrows and everything, and you're thinking that hey, that yeah, use it as like a guide or some sort, but still, you got these arrows right here. I'm like, yeah, with the pencil tool, but still, drawing those arrows right there. But still, that the first thing that you're going to see whenever you first start working on something is it going to be the arrows, or if anything, it's going to be the group of ducklings or something like that. Everybody might think that that there was one time whenever you were, on a field trip or somewhere like that, and then, the first thing that you might see, if anything, that if you're going to be working on something, is that, yeah, the group of ducklings right here, and then each duckling would represent a word or some kind. And, that word right there would maybe be about is that you got sisters and you got brothers right there, but still that one more by the little. You come so close, you came so far, and so whenever we put the story together right here, and you're thinking that you start putting all the words together right here. You got home right here, and you might even be thinking too that you look at all this right here, and one more by the little right here, and so really that so whenever I do think about that, I'm also thinking too that that the first thing that you learned, whenever it comes to learning something new and trying to figure out something, trying to figure it all out, right? And you're thinking is toward it, that whenever it comes to follow me right here, and so really that what's one way of how you want to cause is toward it talking about the guard. If you want to kind of call it the guardian or something like that, but still that professor or somebody like that, but still. But if we're talking about a group of ducks right here, and let's just say that for sure that everybody might say that the first thing that you're going to be saying is toward I am following them just because everybody else is following them, or something like that. And I'm following them just because everybody else is following them. And if you want to, if you want to go ahead and highlight that right there, so that way we can see that right there, but highlight that right there. But I'm just like, yeah. But on the other hand, that whenever we do talk about following the leader, whenever we do talk about learning something for sure, like everybody might say that if you're visiting a location as a group or something like that, but still. Oh, I'll go ahead and put right here. All right. So you select that. But anyway, so whenever you do think about that, and you want to know too that welcome, follow me. Are you going to follow that person just because everybody else is following them or something? But still, everyone, and so stay together as a group right here. But whenever you do think about that, and you're thinking that neighbors too, or like, but still, home, the neighbors right here, and but you have right here of talking about I can go ahead and put neighbors down here, but still, but half the time it sure seems that way that that whenever you do hear welcome, follow me right here, and you want to know too that you got neighbors right here, but still that you talk about here with the little ducklings, with the ducklings right here, and you're thinking is toward the marching ducklings right here. Who exactly are these ducklings right here, and are they friends of yours, or are they just groups of ducklings or something like that, or if anything, they're just a few ducklings that you met around town or somewhere like that while you were shopping or something like that. But still, that so the first thing that you're going to more likely see whenever you looking at the ground right there is somebody's going to say that, please follow me this way. And so yeah, you're welcome. Follow me right here. So yeah, it's like another way of how do you want to say, like, talk about for guest. And that's usually, I'm like, yeah. Everybody might say that it hasn't always really meant guest. If you're going to be visiting a location as a guest, for sure that's usually what it means right there. That you're at a location where you're going to be you're going to be able to come into the museum. You're going to be able to go into the museum, go into that building, especially if you're going to be guest. And everybody might say that, yeah, all guests, and if you weren't invited or if you don't have a ticket to go into one of those museums or something like that, then you're in as guest. And so yeah, so it's like so each time you think about that, then you want to know too that by any reason at all, that everybody might say that whenever you were younger, for sure, that whenever you were just a little duckling or something like that, that there was a lot of things about, have you tried this before? No, I haven't tried this before. Have you done this before? So really, so yeah, I could put that on here too, in case if anybody's want to know too that, yeah, you'll get used to it after a while. You'll get used to it. You'll get used to it after you've done it after a while or something like that. Really, what does that mean? In case if anybody's maybe, and I know, still, you'll get used to it after a while or something like that. What does that mean? Like almost everything that you talk about, for sure, that maybe anybody's going to maybe say that. Can you please explain? What do you mean by that? Like every time you start writing something, for sure, somebody's going to maybe ask you to go ahead and please explain what do you mean by that, as to where that, it's not so hard on me, like it used to be. Yeah, not so difficult like it used to be. So it sure seems that way, that if you're trying to teach somebody anything for real, you might think too is toward it, not so difficult. And so every time you think about that you're warned toward it, do you think that maybe that there should be a logo design or something kind of like that, toward it, not so difficult. You'll get used to it. It's not so difficult. If you've done it, if it's the first time, you tried this, for sure, it's going to feel like, yeah. So everybody might say that, welcome, follow me right here. So whenever you're going to be new to doing something, and maybe if you're not going to be used to doing something, for sure, that, one more bite a little, and you come so close. So, maybe most parents might use that as a word or phrase, as to where that it's like an exercise, and practice exercise to where that if they see how well that you're doing, if you're doing very, very well on something, for sure, that they're going to ask you to go ahead and do another one. And so really, that if there's a coach of somebody like that, I'm like everybody might say that, like a lot of coaches, by the way, might say that, they're first, that we're only doing one. We're only doing one this time. But then, later on, they might say that we'll go ahead and do another one. So really, that any coach is maybe going to say that, are you just saying that just because, just to kind of, make it a little bit more easier on everybody, or just because that, do very well. You're doing very well at this, and so yeah, it's like a training exercise, and we all might even think too that if you're getting practice with something, for sure, that the first thing that you see is that you're not looking forward to doing all that work, for sure. So the first thing that you really want to look at this is toward a welcome, follow me right here. So like everybody might say that if you're going to be doing any sorts of training for sure, that you would maybe like to look at something like this as described as like, this is what we do for our training or something like that. This is how we show you how this works right here. It's like a guide, right? It's like a guide, but it's like maybe a lot of information was not provided before. So every time you think about that, and you're 102 that yeah, don't you think that maybe any training session will be created just like this right here, to where that whenever you think about that, and you're 102 that 4 pieces right here. Do you think that maybe raising chickens on a farm could be explained just by using these 4 pieces right here? This right here. Yeah, the chicken lays her eggs, and then so yeah, like a step-by-step process. And and everybody might say that if you could explain something very well for sure, that it would be really helpful if anybody could maybe look at that way, to where that yeah, this is page 1, page 2, and so on right here, but still got the arrows right there, but still that but every time I think about that for sure, that everybody might say that yeah, you got page 1, page 2 right here, page 1, page 2 right here, but whenever you think about that, then you're warned to where that hey, that if everything from what you do could be explained just like that, to where that you see right here, page 1, page 2, page 3, and page 4 right there, and you're thinking that yeah, you want to tell somebody a story about how to do something, or maybe the process about something, about based on your experience, right? And so yeah, that right there don't have to be page 4, but like everybody might say that whenever you first start working on this for sure, the first page actually was this one. Everybody might say if you want to go ahead and put that in order for sure, go ahead and put number 1 right there, because that was your first page. And anything identical, right? Anybody might say that if you want to put that in order, go ahead and tell me what you started out with. Well, they're not in order exactly. When I first started working on this, by the way, that that right there was my first page, and if I were to go to the second page right here, that it was yeah, it was this one. That's my second page. That was my second, step 1, step 2, right there, and then 3 was this one. So in case of anybody's 102 that yeah, that the way that you put that together right there, but why is it that some of them, this seems backwards here, that according to what the directions say, that yeah, in case of anybody's 102, that according to what the directions say right here, that what was the first step that you were supposed to take according to what the directions said? And everybody might say that that was this supposed to be number 1, or was this supposed to be number 1 right here? Like, well, this right here looks like number 1 because it looks like there's just not enough information added to it, right? Right here. But still, that you have right here with the chicken eggs right here. But everybody might say, yeah, but what about this right here? Well, that needs to be 3 because there's a it talks about the 3 weeks until and after right here, and then this right here will be 4 right here. So it's like, yeah, so whenever you do think about that, and you're 102, that I can move them around too if everybody wants to say go ahead and put them in order and move those pictures around, so that way they can all be in order right there, so that way they make them less confusing. But everybody might say if you want to read it from left to the right or something, but I can do that if we all want to see that right there. Go ahead and switch them. Yeah, go ahead and switch them right there. But now the arrows now the arrows are not in correct order. But yeah, those arrows I drew earlier, but still that right there. But everybody might say that yeah, these right here, that right there, or these are supposed to be directions for sure. People might say that yeah, well go ahead and rotate that if anything. Go ahead and rotate that. Yeah, I could probably rotate that too, but still. Everybody might say that, yeah, now the arrows are going this direction. But anyway, but talking about right here that whenever it comes to one more by the little right here, and so if we see this right here talking about for welcome, and everybody might say that, really, that if you were to try to put this all in order right here, and knowing that these right here were supposed to be directions on how to do something, and everybody might say that that whenever you first start working on this right here, that it was not, in the order as from what the directions said that you're to do, and so that's why it seems like everybody might say that, yeah, that why do you think most children might prefer to go ahead and just dig in and start working? I mean, yeah, just start using it, and just like with this, that's not how you do that, and so yeah, any kids might even say too that. If you're going to be working on something for sure, that, instead of looking at the directions, and maybe instead of reading the directions, that they would like to look at the pictures. I would like to look at the pictures and actually look at, like, yeah, this right here is supposed to be maybe anything such as maybe a good starter's kit or any crayons or anything like that, but you're want to know too that, yeah, welcome, follow me right here. So a lot of times it's like, yeah, that more likely that means is to where to please follow these arrows for what, for according to what the directions say. And so yeah, anything, little chickens, by the way, are going to maybe say that, really, that, the first thing that you think about whenever you're going to be looking at the ground right here, yeah, you're going to be looking at the feet. You're looking at the ground right here, and you look at, yeah, whenever you first start learning something, by the way, the first thing that you actually see is actually the ground, right? Which I'm sure a lot of kids might say that, yeah, whenever you first start learning something new, by the way, that's the first thing that you see right there. You look at it from the ground up. You don't really look at the sky very much at a time. So in case if we're 102, that you look at that from the ground up, you learn from the ground up right there, and yeah, that's whenever you learn how to walk. And anybody who's curious to know and 102 that, whenever you first start learning something new, by the way, that, you probably thinking too that, okay, yeah, go ahead and type that in there, feet in the ground. And everybody might say that, really, that, what you actually saw actually was it rocks or was it ground or something like that? But still, the ground, or was it dirt or something? Feet, ground right there, and water or something. But so so it's like whenever you first start learning something new, by the way, that the first thing that you see right here is feet, or if anything. But still. But each time you think about that, and you're 102, that, yeah, that you first start learning something new, and you see these arrows right here. But still, that, but yeah, that, 1, 2, so I'll go ahead and put right here, yeah, you switched out those pictures right there, and 102, if you want to go ahead and try to put those in order, like they're supposed to. And, like, yeah, I'm trying to get the 1 there, to try to put that in order. Yeah, 1, 2. 1, 2, right there. So everybody might say that, yeah, if you were to actually be looking at the directions for sure, somebody's going to be counting on those directions on what to do. These are the directions on what to do whenever it comes to learning something, right? And everybody might say that the first thing that you actually see of what needs to be done for sure, if anything, like everybody might say that whenever it comes to, yeah, so the first thing, like everybody might say that, the directions, though, that one more by the little. So do you think that maybe that you would want to use one more by the little for anything whenever it comes to giving directions or anything that you're going to be working on for sure. And everybody might say that you're welcome. You're more than welcome to go ahead and give it a try for what you're working on. But everybody might say that yeah, if we're talking about like everybody might say if these group of chickens right here, is maybe going to remind us of like if we're going to be in a group as a guest, maybe if if you're trying to show somebody how something works or something like that. Maybe if it's maybe if it's a light or something like that, or maybe how to keep your balance on something or something like that, and you might see that to where you want to try to impress the group with something, and that's usually what I say. Yeah, it's happened too many times. Everybody might say that. You want to try to impress everybody. You want to try to impress everybody, and so in order to be able to impress everybody, what you're trying to do is you're trying to show them something. Trying to show them something that you're good at, right? And that's usually what that means right there. And so in case of anybody's maybe say too that, especially if it's at the last minute or something like that, or like everybody might say if it's maybe if it's in the middle of the night or something like that, that everybody might say is toward that your kids are trying to show you something, and what they're trying to do is they're trying to show you something impressive, and they're trying to show you something, something that you may not have seen before or something like that. You may not have heard of it, but still, but whenever you do think about it, it's like you'll do very well, and so I in a lot of ways, like everybody might say that every time you do think about that, by the way, you might think as toward that you set any ground rules about something in particular. One more by the little, and so what does one more by the little? Oh my God! According to my definition, I look at that more as another way of saying is that that try to make it smaller. Try not to make it so hard and so difficult, but take it one at a time. But the little is actually advises that to where that a few of your anybody who's watching you work and anybody who can tell what you're doing, and it's like all that work that you put into something that they can actually see what you're doing, right? So it's almost like until you actually get that request by the group to go ahead and do another one, show me another one, and so if you're going to be telling anybody a story for sure about that, to where that how many the kids, how many of everybody or anybody really, really want to see about is toward it, if you want to show the group something impressive, then you probably say that go and show something, show the ducklings right here. There were 3 ducklings right here, and how well you play the guitar or the piano or any other source of musical instrument, right? But it sure seems that way that that the duckling right here, if we see this right here, that they start talking to a few the other ducklings, and let's just say that one of them could be shy, and maybe the other one could be like what you call especially if it's your first day or something like that, and you're thinking as to where you got the duckling right here, and let's just say that duckling wants something, just to be able to learn, get to know them a little bit better. Do you think that maybe that duckling would have something that they want to show somebody, such as something to impress them by? And like 102, how are you really going to know that duckling very well? How are you really going to be able to introduce them to some of your skills? Maybe if you don't show them, or maybe something about them, that you might like, or you may like them, or you may not like it, but still. So every time you think about that, then you always want to know too that whenever it comes to greeting cards, by the way, that you're thinking that whenever it comes to greeting cards, and you're want to know too that that whenever you first start meeting one of the duckies right here, and thinking is toward it, there's only so much that you really know about that duckling until that you start seeing a couple of things that you like about it. So I just really, I'm like, I'll go ahead and put that in here too, is to where yeah, that a lot of kids will probably say that yeah, well, if they like, if they were very impressed with what you had to show them for sure. So everybody might say that yeah, it's happened a lot of times, by the way, that whenever you're going, if you're going to be on a field trip or doing something with a group of students, and 102 that yeah, that they really liked what you were showing them, and yeah, like it could also be likes too. Yeah. It was not in the instructions, yeah. It was not in the directions. It was not in the original instructions, but in case if anybody's want to know too, that yeah, whenever you're working on something for sure, that it used to be spelt with like. It used to be spelt with like before the S got in there, and everybody might say that yeah, are you? Can you be a little bit more specific than that? Was it spelt this way or was it spelled that way? But still, it's like whenever you do think about that, and you're 102, that yeah, if I'm quite understood about that, and do we think that the S, the S should be underlined? Anyway, yep, I know it. Do we think that the S should be underlined? I'll go and zoom in right here so we can see this right here. Yeah, I know it. How many of us really spelt likes that way? In case if we're all 102, that talking about duckies, the Ducky-Story right here, and you're thinking is that likes, and it used to be spelt with one word, but then if you put the comma or something like that, so yeah, so every time you do think about that, and you're always 102, that that's the way that you spelt it from earlier was just a little bit different from how it's spelt now, and everybody might say if that's just way of how you learn new things, or if that's just another way of how to impress somebody with, or something like that. It looks like a high five, doesn't it? I mean, whenever I think about that, I kept thinking too that it used to be all one word, right? Yeah, likes or or something like that. Yeah, everybody, that it does. It looks like a high five, doesn't it? You have it underlined like that, but likes or something like that. High five or something. Yeah, that's supposed to be an S right there, but everybody might say that if you're going to be working on something for sure, if you're trying to solve a puzzle, then do you think on average that you're going to have it to where that somebody's going to go ahead and say that that there's going to be a few likes about that, like everybody say, yeah, if you want to put maybe a Z right there, really, I'm like, I really don't know everybody, like everybody might say that you got a Z right there, and why would you put a Z right there? Well, you would really only do that maybe if everybody might say that, Z, you would really only I'm like, yeah, in case of anybody say that usually means a snooze button, meaning as to where that yeah. Your audience is yeah, and I can go ahead and put a duplicate right here. What exactly does that mean necessarily? I know it. I know, everybody, that I really don't know, but I can just take a guess right here. Is that if we all see this right here, if we can see that kind of like that right there in 102, that if you can tell your audience just a little bit, that if you got anybody that responded, like if you have anybody putting likes on there, and they're going to say that they respond is a ZZZ or something like that. So it's like, yeah, so if you show somebody something for sure that, this right here is supposed to be Ducky right here, but then you put right here for ZZZ or something like that, and somebody's going to maybe say that, yeah, I had no idea what that means, but, that's another way of how you got the kids to kind of interact with what you're working on, and if it's supposed to be like an activity or something like that. And I would probably say that, for the most part, that if this right here, if that right there is supposed to be an activity of some sort, for sure, that they say that, yeah, you can really put what you want, but so that way everybody can really know what you're doing or something like that. But ZZZ, Mike, whenever you look at that really closely right there, and everybody might say that, it looks like maybe a few building blocks or something like that stacked all on top of each other or something like that, but still, arrows. I mean, I look at that a little bit more like maybe zigzaggy type arrows or something like that, but still, you got the Z right there, but you have right here for likes right here, and but I thought I'd go ahead and just put that in right there, just so that way we can all see that right there. But talking about with likes right here, so if I was going to be working on something for sure, and not everybody's really going to understand what I was doing there at the beginning, and for sure, if you kind of put that on order right there, and everybody's going to say that, hey, that, I had no clue at the very beginning on what you were doing there first until, I come up to page 4 right here. Everybody say to you go ahead and, if you want to go ahead and add a 4 right there, and for page 4. But I just know that, on average, that when we do talk about stories, that, I'm just kind of like wanting to know too that whenever you first started working on something, it was not in the exact order from whenever like everybody else. So like according to what the directions said right here is that according to what the directions said that you were supposed to start start on this right here. And so in case if anybody's wanting to know too, you got page 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I can make that a little bit smaller right there so we can see that right there. But that right there, that's page 4. Oh, I'm trying to keep them all together right here. If we can all read that right there. Yeah, if you want to put that maybe at the bottom. That was on the bottom, but okay. So that way we can all read that. Yep, I know it. You got page 4 right there. 1, 2, 3, and 4 right there. So whenever you do think about that, then you'll want to know too that for home or something like that. Anybody might say that if you were working on something for sure, or your kid's going to think about that is toward it, what's that for? It's for home or something. If there's any logo design or something like that that looks just like that, for home or something, everybody might say that, you can go ahead and put number 4 right there in case if anybody want to know too, that if you know anybody who does or writes stories or something like that, you'll want to know too that, for home or something right there. So really, what exactly does that mean? Well, there's a lot of things. I like a lot of things to talk about. But anyway, it pretty much means is that if you had followed those steps in the directions like they were orders, or like everybody might say that you put that 4 right there for home or something. But anything that you're going to be working on for sure, that somebody's going to ask you, what's that for right there? Oh, it's for home or something. Or you put the number 4 right there, and then you put a word right there, like it's for sister or something like that, or for brother. I don't know if anybody has tried that before, but I guess it's really all about the fact about anybody who's trying to understand what you're working on for sure. You're thinking this toward it, for sure that whenever you're working on something for sure, that everybody's going to understand what you're doing for sure. As long they're able to understand it, maybe if anything, as long as they're able to watch you work and just to kind of realize what's going on here, and they see something like this right here for home or something like that. Really, do you really have to be in class for 3 weeks just to really understand what all that's going on here? And it seems like that's usually the case, right? All parents might say that if you're only able to explain the story just by using these three-step cards or something like that, yeah, I can explain the story right here, by these 3-4 steps right here, and like 102, that 3 weeks of what you were working on, and 4 right here is supposed to explain right here, but it's like, yeah, so it seems like that there's a lot going on right here. But, really, page 1, there's hardly anything going on right here. Like everybody might say, yeah, there seems like that there's not really much going on right here. But then whenever you look at step 4 right here, that there's a lot going on right here. And so, yeah, so it's like people might say that, 3 weeks until and after, and then 3 weeks from now, or something like that. And like, yeah, for home right here. Anyway, thanks for watching, everyone, and have a great day.